everybody, Kat here, your favorite ginger bibliophile. I hope you're all doing really well, and I hope you're in the mood for a little creepy and a little bit of everything else, because that's what I've got for you that I will hopefully read this month. Probably not, though, because if y'all been following me for a while, you know I usually only get about 3 or 4 off my, physical TBR, 5 if I'm really lucky, and, yeah, I got more than 4 or 5. So, to be fair, some of these only kind of sort of count. So we're going to start off with my holdover. This is Fear Nothing by Koontz. And I thought last night when I did my little update on this that I would be finishing it today, because I only had 100 pages left, but then I fell asleep shortly after recording that because I was freaking exhausted. And yeah, I had about 150 pages left, and now I have 80. Anyway, I'm getting a little into the creepy spirit, because most people call this September. I call it Halloween Eve. So we're getting into the whole Summerween and a little bit of everything. Getting to most of my favorite genres and some interesting ones that aren't necessarily regularly on my list. And that's just what's in here. There will be, there is one genre that isn't represented in that physical pile, but that's because I've already got a plan. I know at least one thing I'm reading on Kindle this month, so, yep. But so far, I started this, well, I think this week, maybe? I don't know anymore. They all gotta run together. Maybe over the last weekend. Oh, Lil Man, do you remember? He says no. But so far, honestly, this is the worst Koontz I've read. It's intriguing. It is an interesting premise. There's somebody that has, more issues with light and the sun than I do. And there's some creepy stuff going on in town because, duh, Koontz. But it also gets kind of, bogged down in random stuff that doesn't really make sense. There's a whole section of just, yeah, he's my best friend. He's a complete jerk to me and talks down to me and thinks half the stuff that I think is stupid. But he's my best friend, so I'm going to go hang out with him and we're just going to talk surfer talk for a couple chapters. So, yeah. But overall, it's been interesting, weird-ishness. Huh. Y'all can't see him too well, but I've got my little man here keeping me company. Mwah! He doesn't approve of kisses unless he's the one giving them. Then it's, well, you're gonna get your face cleaned, and if you try to divide and, dodge that, you're probably getting a wet willy. But he's gotta look after mama. And then, again, like I said, I'm kind of cheating, because this is a book that I tried to read before, and I only got that far, and it was interesting, but it also didn't seem to, be coherent. There was several storylines going at the same time, and trying to follow that when you're sick does not go well. And this is another, Atlantis theme. It's Atlantis Gods by Gibbins, and from what little I read, this is not the first book in the series. It's, some crap happened, and we start off with him going back to where he was before, where he thinks he found Atlantis, but now it's buried under a bunch of chilled lava because a volcano went off, and oh crap, it's trying to go off again underwater, and he doesn't actually have the rights to be there. He kind of ticked off some people, and they revoked his, digging permits, but him and his buddy are sneaking there, and might, if it wasn't his series, he would probably get killed. And something about some dude from Egypt and Nazis, but somehow it all ties to a weapon and Atlantis. And I'm going to hope that, this time, now that I'm feeling better, this is what I'm jumping into after I finish Fear Nothing. And hopefully it will make more sense. So we've got bits of, horror for some Summerween fun, a little action-packed, adventure here. And there's actually a lot of horror, and don't worry, I'm saving plenty for October, too. Stephen King, who's, honestly, I never read The Shining. This is Dr. Sleep, which is the sequel to The Shining, but I did watch the movie. Most of it. I kind of fell asleep and woke up and it was replaying itself like it was like an 8-hour movie. But, so, I don't know how many times that movie played, because it was at a different part than when I fell asleep. But, it was Jack Nicholson, it was classic and kind of creepy. And, supposedly, this is really good, so we're gonna try some Stephen King. There shouldn't be any threats to doggies in this one. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Which, little cameo, or, okay, my brain is not working, but little warning to do with Fear Nothing. There is a cute black lab puppy. He is threatened at one point, and I almost put down the book, but hey, quickly, the doggie's okay. The bad man got what was coming to him, so, because if there's a doggy in the book, there needs to be a warning. Like, don't be making me read this whole book just for you to be mean to the doggy at the end. Like, I need to know these things. And I can't be the only one, so. Almost to the end, and the doggy is okay. And then, we're giving Dean Koontz a chance to redeem himself. Even though I could grab a different one, because I have a whole shelf back there. Not the whole bookcase, but I have a shelf on my bookcase that's all Dean Koontz. I'm not entirely sure what this one is about. It is Icebound, formerly titled Prison of Ice. And, oh, this looks like an old one. Back when he was Mustache Man. Let's see, how old is this one? Where is it? Originally 1976, republished in 1995. So, I mean, I guess that's kind of cool. There's a picture on the back. I'd like to actually know what this is about, because they kind of forgot to put things in here of what this is about. I just grabbed it at my used bookstore, because Dean Koontz, it's time for creepy time, and I love him. And when it comes to horror, Dean Koontz is my favorite. And when it comes to, monsters, vampires are the classic. I remember reading Anne Rice's, Interview with the Vampire when I was 13. Though I don't think Grandma realized exactly what that was when she was like, here, read this, because somebody gave it to her. And look at me now. I have permanent skulls of bats in my house. But Vampire in Moscow. By Richard Henrick. And I don't know what the heck that's about, but St. John the Pursuer. That is, let's see here. Honestly, this is another one from, I think this was from the used bookstore. This has been sitting on my shelf. It's not even on one of my, to this year's, TBR pile that I keep accidentally adding to. No, this has been on the shelf since I got that bookcase. And I bought it at the job that I moved here for before COVID went, ha-ha! And I had to get a new job because my fireworks place that was mostly working for Disney, well, Disney no longer needed fireworks for a while. So this is 3 or 4 years old that I've had it. So, since the time of the Romans, a sect of warrior priests has been pledged to await the reawakening of the evil one. 2,000 years later, in the Soviet Ukraine, certain relics and an ancient sarcophagus are disinterred. Oh, that's... this is gonna be good. At least it better be, because that's a lot of interesting potential there. And I'm feeling this is another really old one. Let's see. 1988. That was almost a good year. It's almost as old as me. But it's also not the year Little Mermaid came out. That was 89. That was my last vampire novel. This came out in same year as Little Mermaid, which used to be my favorite. And then it got knocked to second place because, Meredith's the best. So, yeah, I'm excited to get into this one. I might have to read some of this, out of order and go. I was gonna, but this sounds good. And then a nod to Adrian. Definitely go check out Carbon Bonded Books. She knows all the good Greek mythology. But I think I was on Book Outlet, and I wanted the Matthew Riley books, so I needed to fill out my cart. And this was one of my cart fill outs from, you know, my book haul that I just did. It's Pandora's Jar. And Pandora's awesome. So, but this is by Natalie Haynes. It's female perspective, so I think like she gets a better treatment in this book than, you know, the legends usually give her. So, I don't know. Greek mythology is a good time. I'm starting to get more into it. And there's a couple on Amazon on their Kindle Unlimited that are intriguing that I might have to get to at some point before I go, I really need to get rid of that subscription. I've already got a couple hundred downloaded for free that I haven't read yet. But that's probably not going to happen because I keep going, I'm going to cancel it and read what I... Ooh, but that just came out. Kind of like how I keep saying I'm not going to buy more books, and then I do. And the last one on the list is, y'all know I gotta have some fairy tales, and this was another one that was, I really needed those Matthew Riley books, and I just read something by this author that I really, really liked, and the sequel to that just came out, but it's only in hardback, and new to me authors do not get hardback, press, like, this one, I like their hardback if I find it on sale used, but you gotta earn my trust before I pay that, fresh out of Barnes & Noble hardback price. But Erin A. Craig, Small Favors. This is supposed to be a Rumpelstiltskin retelling, and Rumpelstiltskin really does not get enough love, so he is an interesting villain. Like, I'm hoping this kind of gives Once Upon a Time vibes, which I don't mean like the Happily Ever After. I mean the ABC show that was basically a Disney version of a soap opera, but so much fun, and ooh, Hook was hot. Eyeliner on dudes usually don't do it for me, but that was a sexy pirate. And Gold was, oh, he was a fun character. So I'm hoping this kind of ends up a really good time. This will definitely end up on the list. Hopefully I will make it through all of these. This is one of my top priority ones, so maybe. And yeah, I'm butchering names and titles and everybody's just words. I can't talk today, so sorry for all the like authors and everybody's names that I butchered. But hopefully one of these turns out really well and gets you interested as well, and I will see you soon with hopefully a review about one of these that I read. Bye! Happy reading!